Joining me now is Ambassador Bradley Gordon. He's an expert on Iran and also former Director of Policy and Governmental Affairs for AIPAC. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
It's really important that we talk about Iran because for years there were disagreements about, the deal was made with Iran, but now there's a sunset clause that is expiring. Tell me what that clause is and what it means for security.
Sure. So there have been UN Security Council mandatory resolutions that no one assists Iran in its missile program and no one sells advanced military equipment to Iran. Both of those expire in 2021. And so that's a looming issue for us. And hopefully what we seek to be able to do is to get Congress on record opposing the UN resolutions lifting, the sunset of that lifting.
So what does that translate to? If that is lifted, if that is the sunset clause happens, what does that translate to?
It means that anybody, Russia, China, North Korea, can assist Iran in getting intercontinental ballistic missiles. There's only one reason why anyone wants an intercontinental ballistic missile, and it's to have the capability to launch a nuclear weapon. No one has ever used an ICBM for anything but that.
And when I talked to you earlier, we were talking about the mining of uranium, which was quite frightening, what you told me. Tell me about the mining of uranium.
So Iran has uranium, and it has uranium mines. And so it doesn't need to go outside to find a source for uranium. It's inside Iran. And they therefore can take it and enrich it.
But they've been mining more.
Yes.
Since we pulled out of the deal.
So the deal says that Iran is limited to 300 kilograms of low enriched uranium in country at any time for 15 years. As long as that were true, Iran can't get to a bomb because you need 1,200 kilograms of low enriched uranium to be further enriched to get to one bomb. They now no longer are holding to a 300 kilogram level, which means they are increasing their own supply of low enriched uranium in country. And if they keep increasing it, it means they will get to the potential of being able to take that low enriched uranium and enrich it further and get to a bomb.
Right, we're talking nuclear.
Yeah, we are talking nuclear bomb, highly enriched uranium.
Even though Iran has said we want the uranium for electricity. That's what we're enriching.
So Iran has said it wants nuclear power because someday it's going to run out of oil and natural gas.
Right.
And they're right. Someday they will. The last estimate I saw for that was sometime in the 26th century. So it's not an immediately pressing problem.
So this year, since the start of this year, January,
yes,
the assassination of Qasem Soleimani,
right,
shockwaves. Any repercussions, anything does this lift the stakes, raise the stakes in any way? He's been replaced immediately.
So, yes.
And there's a system in place.
So first, Soleimani was responsible for most of the terrorism that Iran has been involved in and that Hezbollah has been involved in.
He started Hezbollah, in 1982?
It was started before him. He went to Lebanon very early on and put it together. Hezbollah means Party of God, and it is an Iranian creation that he essentially ran. He was a really, truly evil man responsible for thousands of innocent deaths. And so when in fact you have the opportunity to take out someone like that, you take that opportunity. Does it mean he'll be replaced? Yes.
He's already been
He's been replaced, but he was a singular character with enormous influence and devastating power. It will take some time for a replacement to develop that kind of credibility.
Because of his vision.
Because of his vision. But also, look, we live in a target-rich world. It isn't that hard to send terrorists to go kill Israeli tourists in Bulgaria, as they did. They'll do that anyway. They'll do that anyway. And so when you have the opportunity to remove someone that evil, you remove them.
You know, we talk about often Israel's arsenal because it's cutting edge. The technology that comes out of there is Star Wars-like, and so, and you think about, David Sling, Iron Dome,
right.
Arrow. So you think about Iran is not a rich country. There are a lot of farmers, but what I've heard over and over is, don't underestimate Iran. Iran is very sophisticated at the levels it needs to be for
So
defense.
Iran is an incredibly well-educated, highly cultured country. And for decades, they've had thousands and thousands of students in American universities and throughout Europe. And a lot of them major in nuclear physics, as it happens. They have scientists at the European Center for Nuclear Research. They are well advanced. They've had a clandestine nuclear program for more than 30 years. Think about this. We started in 1940. At a time in which no one had ever done it before. We had to invent the technology, we then had to make the technology,
right.
And then we had to get the highly enriched uranium. And we did it in 5 years. This is 1940s technology. They are well capable of it.
Which is frightening in itself, but how far do you think that they are from a bomb?
So
what does intelligence say?
So I would say that as a result of the deal, they had to
scale back.
They disconnected 14,000 out of 20,000 centrifuges. And they have 6,000 running, and they're first generation, and they're old, and they're decrepit. But they are researching and have increasing capability for really advanced centrifuges, 15 times more efficient than the ones that are installed now. And when they develop those, as they will, in the near future, and begin installing them, it shrinks the amount of time that it will take for them to get to a bomb. If you ask me now, I will tell you they're somewhere between 6 months and a year away from a bomb if they started tomorrow. But at a certain point in the not too distant future, they will be able to enrich as much uranium as they want and do so in a matter of days. They will be literally days away from a weapon.
So at this point, 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year if they started.
Right, but if they are allowed the capability of their mining their own uranium.
If they mine their own uranium, they develop the advanced centrifuges, they install those advanced centrifuges, and they run them.
Right.
Look, the nuclear deal was going to last for 15 years. 15 years in the life of a country is nothing. And at the end of that 15 years, they would have been able to install those centrifuges. They would have been able to enrich as much uranium to whatever level. They could stockpile highly enriched uranium.
Well, that shows us how important the security is.
Absolutely.
Because the threat is worse than ever.
And it talks about the need,
right.
the absolute need to prevent them from ever getting that close.
Okay, well, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for shedding so much light on
My pleasure.
this.